Good afternoon. It is good to be with you again. I welcome you with all my heart. I love each and every one of you, no matter what you've done in the past, and no matter what you're doing now. This love is unconditional. I can only love you. That's all I can do. For I love myself, and myself is all-pervading. So I can say with all my heart that I love you, and all is well. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. There are no mistakes. Everything is in its right place. And so it is. I was having a conversation with a lady in the neighborhood this morning, and we started to speak of spiritual things, and she asked me, "Do you admit that God created the universe?" And I answered, "Yes, I do admit that God created the universe, but I am that who created God." When she heard this, her mouth dropped. But I was only voicing the truth. I didn't tell her that I, the ego, the individual, created God. I told her, I am that who created God. In other words, I am that. Tat Tvam Asi. Omnipresence, absolute reality, pure awareness. God emerges out of that. I know for most of you it's very difficult to feel that God comes out of us, for we have been brought up in a Western tradition where this is deemed blasphemy. We are to believe that there's an anthropomorphic deity called God, sitting on a big white cloud somewhere up in heaven, throwing thunderbolts down at people he doesn't like, and blessing the people that he does like. In other words, we have created God in our own image. But what is God? God is a word that in the Western condition means the absolute reality. Brahman, Shiva, Vishnu, all of the gods, all of the wisdom of the earth, built into one lump word, and it's called God. Yet most of us are so afraid to use that word because we think the word is blasphemous. When we use it, we'll be punished. Who will punish us? God? Then you must believe God is a human being, since he or she has the power to punish and the power to bless. There is no such God. There is the Christ consciousness if you want to believe in Christianity. There's the Buddha nature if you're interested in Buddhism. There's the Tao, there's Allah, and all the numerous names for God. Yet in Advaita Vedanta we learn, if we have not had the experience for ourselves, that God is a creation of the mind. It is we who create this God. But not we as Steve or Dana or Jack or Jill. Those are human names. Those are human concepts. It is the self, that imperishable self which is all-pervading, omnipresent, that creates God. If you only knew what was inside of you, what you really were, you would laugh hysterically. You would be full of bliss, full of joy, full of happiness, full of harmony. There is that within you which is unspeakable, which cannot be explained. It is such beauty, such joy. When you know who you are and you call upon that, you'll have everlasting happiness. This is the reason I always say to you at the end of the lesson, worship yourself. Bow to yourself. Pray to yourself. After all, to whom shall you pray? To the sky, to the moon, to the stars. Yet they also come out of you. You are the one. You have to turn within yourself. And I know no matter how many times I say this to you, some of you still go home and worry. And you pray to God for help, for assistance. You pray to some anthropomorphic type deity up in the sky to have mercy on your soul and so forth. This is okay if you're in kindergarten. But once you get past kindergarten, you have to somehow understand who you really are. You are not a body as you appear. This is not you. The appearance is a lie. It's a false appearance. It is Maya, the grand illusion. Yet we appear to live in Maya. So why not use the best of Maya to make yourself happy? Call upon the power within you, the light within you, to relieve you of your distress, to relieve you of your unhappiness, and all the things that seem to trouble you, annoy you, and bother you. Call upon the God of your own being. Better still, do not call upon God at all, but rather sit in the truth, sit in the silence, in your own swarupa, your own reality, your own nature. Sit in that silence where you are the one and there are no others. One day you'll have to do this, so why not do it now? Why keep on playing these games with yourself? Hide and seek. Believing God came out, created you, and now you have to see God again. You don't want to play hide and seek any longer. You want to realize that God never went anywhere. God never created anything. God is none other than yourself, the absolute reality. You are that beauty. Everlasting joy, happiness, peace, bliss. This is your nature. This is the only existence. There is nothing else. If you understood what I'm talking about, would you have any fear of anything? Would there be anything in this world or any place else that could frighten you or do anything to you or hurt you in any way? What would you fear? You are the one. There is no thing that can come from outside of you to hurt you unless you allow it. You allow it by believing you are a human being with thoughts, fears, and frustrations. A human being that was born, goes through experiences, and then seems to die. When you stop to think about these things, it doesn't make any sense. You're born. No one knows why. You seem to have experiences, and when you get it all together, it's time to leave. Where do you go? What happens to you? You go nowhere. There's nowhere to go. for you have never come from anywhere. You remain as you are, pure and still. This is wonderful news, yet you have to experience this for yourself. How do you experience this by yourself? By letting go of the other, by dropping the frustrations, the self-pity, the belief that somebody is trying to do something to you. So you have to protect yourself. You have to set up guards so no one can hurt you. Who wants to hurt you? Who can possibly do anything to you? If you accept the fact that everything is unfolding as it should, and everything is in its right place, how can you be hurt? What power is there to come and hurt you? Where would it come from? Can't you see, if the truth is omnipresent, if reality is all-pervading, is there any space for anything else? The all-pervading goodness takes up all space and all form, so there is nowhere where the other can come from. There is only the one, and you are that. Why don't you believe me? It's the truth. You spoil it when you begin to think, of course, when you allow the mind, which doesn't exist, to think. How can you allow a mind that doesn't even exist to think? Don't you see you're making a fool of yourself? You're listening to all these thoughts that come into the mind. This is wrong, this is right, this is good, this is bad. This I hate, this I love. I want things to be like this. Now I want things to be like that. And if not, I'm going to cry. I'm going to get very upset. Whom have you been fooling all these years by doing this? Only yourself, your little self. You've been playing the game of hide and seek by believing you are a little self, a personal self that has to work out their life. You cannot understand yet that when you let go completely, another power comes along. This power is called the self, and it takes the place of your mind so that you seem to function correctly. And you find yourself in your right place. You find right actions coursing through your veins. You find you're doing those things you're supposed to be doing, and all is well. You have to stop thinking and stop believing in a power apart from you. As long as you believe, this will happen. You're creating this power for a while. There's really no power to create. But for you, you appear to be creating a power called the devil. Then you have to kill the devil by perhaps 10,000 prostrations, saying Hail Mary 25,000 times, and the other methods that these religions devise to keep you humble. Wake up. Become free. There is no one for you to attach yourself to. There is no one for you to worship. There's no one for you to be afraid of outside of yourself, for you have created all these things yourself, out of your mind. This is why I emphasize so often, stop thinking. It is the thoughts that are creative and create your world for you. Everything you see, all of existence, is only here because you are here. Because you exist. Where do these things go when you are in deep sleep? They disappear. They no longer exist. But as soon as you wake up, your world becomes real to you. Your world, the way you see it, the way you think of it. When I am with you, many times, when I go to lunch with you, or see you otherwise, I always like to hear you talk, for it tells me what you see, what you're coming from. I see how serious you are about this, how serious you are about that, what's bugging you, what's hurting you, what you feel frustrated about. And I cannot tell you, forget this. Laugh. Be happy. Do not think about these things. This is all foolishness. For if I tell some of you this, you'll be sort of insulted. You will feel funny, and you'll think I don't care about you. You'll feel I don't care about your problems. But I'm trying to tell you, you do not have any problems. There are no problems. Read my lips. No problems. But you may say, well, this is happening in my life, and I'm going through this and I'm going through that. That's not a problem. That's your belief system. You have been brought up to believe certain things are terrible and certain things are wonderful. Consequently, you're living in this kind of world, duality, good and bad, right and wrong, up and down, backwards and forwards. You therefore feel all these things. Why not let go? Do it. Do not think any more of these things. Simply stop thinking by catching yourself every time you think. Catch yourself and become aware of the thinker. That stops your thoughts. For instance, there's a thought in your mind regarding sickness, death, lack, limitation. Before the thought becomes stronger, remember to catch yourself and just look at the thought. That's how you catch yourself, by observing the observer of the thought. This all happens by itself. As you catch yourself more and more, you begin to realize that you are the observer. Watching yourself observe the thought, and you begin to laugh. Life will bother you and annoy you as long as you believe you are a body, a mind. Then you'll have to go through all kinds of experiences. This is the reason I tell you so often. Become yourself. Understand who you are. Understand that it is the personal I that has been giving you all this trouble. By changing conditions, they will surely turn into new conditions. If you have a problem, you do not solve the problem by solving the problem. You solve the problem by getting to the source of the problem. If you only work on the effect of the problem, a new effect will come along. When you work on that effect, a new effect will come along. It will never end. But go to the source, and the source is I, the personal I. Kill the I, eliminate the I. When the I is destroyed, you will be free. A fast way of destroying the eye is by just staring at it, looking at it, watching it, observing it. When you observe the eye, it goes away. Nothing likes to be stared down. True? If you go to your friend and all of a sudden you start staring at your friend will go away from you. He'll think you're a nut. He'll be right. But your friend will leave. This is true of the personal eye. When the personal eye attacks you by frightening you, by making you believe something is real, stare it down. Just look at it, watch it, observe it, and I can promise you it will go away. It will not hang around. You do not even have to go through self-inquiry, for some of you think it's a lengthy process. Therefore, stare the eye down. Of course, you can only realize this and do this when you understand who you are, that you've got the power to do this. There is only one power, and you've got it. Omnipotence is the only power. You are that power. So from now on, you're not going to allow yourself to be betrayed by your mind again. You will not allow the mind to tell you anything to make you unhappy or to make you believe something is wrong someplace. You will understand that there is nothing wrong any place. Things are just different, but everything happens for the ultimate good. Begin to love yourself. I know that's really hard for some of you to do, to really love yourself, to love the self which is really you. Try standing in front of the mirror and making love to yourself. Some of you will not be able to do this. I'll bet there are people here who look in the mirror and don't even want to look at themselves. They can't look at themselves for a whole minute in the mirror. Try it, and you'll see what I mean. For when you look in the mirror, see God. Not the physical appearance. See light shining from you. See bliss. See pure awareness. See total emptiness. See yourself. Begin to practice this exercise. Looking in the mirror. Begin for maybe a minute, then go on to 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4, 5 minutes. Admit the truth to yourself. I am Brahman. I am the ultimate reality. I am boundless space. I am the Atman, the perfect intelligence, the one without the other. All-pervading, perfect self. What if you told yourself this every day? What do you think would happen if you looked in the mirror and did this every day? You would turn into the God that you are. And you will find peace. Total peace. Total love. Begin today knowing this truth about yourself. Hold on deeply to this truth. that you are the power, that God is an invention of your mind. There is no external God outside of yourself. You are the one. Know this. Be this. And become forever free.